color your hair, be different to the Jews and Christians. That's a thing. That's a hadith with the same wording. Do we consider coloring or dyeing the hair to be obligatory or sunnah or necessary or strongly recommended? No. Let me give you another one. The Prophet said, pray the salah fi ni'alikum. Sallu fi ni'alikum. Pray with your shoes on. Khaliful Yahuda wa Nasara. Be different to the Jews and the Christians. Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, okay. Just what I thought. So the question is that's a Sahih hadith, but they don't want to know that. Nobody does that. It's the same wording. So what I say is bring me one Sahih hadith, just one, where the Prophet is telling you how to grow a beard. There isn't a single one. The rest is simply interpretation by scholars. Okay. Right, what is going on?
Right.
Somebody's Buddhist. Hassan Sabah. Alright, people.
Alright.
Peoples.
This is good, guys. This guy's funny.
Alright, people.
Alright.
Peoples.
So we are back with the dinosaur face Mufti Abu Layth Al Baritani, not Al Maliki, but rather Al Baritani, the British. As you can see, this guy has earrings here. He has. He says weed is halal. He says zina is halal. He says kufr is halal. He says drugs are halal. He said, you know, what is this? Seriously, like Imam Malik is free of you. But the reality is, guys, that Imam Malik, there are some of his students who are guided. There's a group of his students that are guided, and there's another group of his students which are not guided at all. So the first group of students of Imam Malik that were guided, you do not see them say that Sahih al-Bukhari and Muslim are liars. But this guy, who is he compared to al-Bukhari to call Bukhari a liar? You are a liar, wallahi. And similarly with this Muslimah girl, she was saying that waw in the Arabic language is always used as you know, what do you call it, as for the separation, right? Yes, it is, but sometimes, although this is why the hadith of Sahih al-Bukhari, Muhsin Khan, he translated differently the verses of Bani Israel. He says these are the surahs of Bani Israel. Why? Because we see one hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari, which is Mufti Abu Layth Al Baritani. He says that this hadith is fabricated in al-Bukhari, and he says the hadith, he quotes it about I think Abu Darda or Abu Dhar. He says that Abu Darda says that فَذَبَحَ الْخَمْرَ النِّينَانَ وَالشَّمْسِ, right? This hadith is written فَذَبَحَ الْخَمْرَ النِّينَانَ وَالشَّمْسِ. So this hadith is meaning that he's saying, Mufti Abu Layth, he's saying that this does not make sense, because there's no way you can say that he slaughtered the wine and the fish and the sun. No. This hadith, as the ulama have said, there have been people in Asham where this place is how the Arabic dialect used to be. So they used to speak in a different way. And of course, we also know long ago that Bedouins, even, the Fusha that they spoke was different than the regular Fusha that we write today. So most people occur in their mind that the Fusha that we are reading today is similar as the Bedouins. No, actually the Bedouins used to speak in a particular dialect, not like the city people who spoke a different dialect, but it was both Fusha. Anyway, when he said فَذَبَحَ الْخَمْرَ النِّينَانَ وَالشَّمْسِ, this is the thing here. Mufti Abu, what's his name? This Mufti Abu Layth Al Baritani, everything for him is da'if, everything. Imagine. So this guy, what he's saying is that this hadith is meaning that he slaughtered the wine and the fish, and ninan, right? And ninan meaning fish. Washams, and he also slaughtered the sun. This is not correct. Because in Arabic you can also say this to mean that he slaughtered the fish that they used to dip long ago into vinegar or into wine, but of course the wine would not, it will not absorb the wine, so the wine will not come in it. They used to dip it there, then they used to take it out and place it in the sun and leave it there for a couple of days till the wine is dried out from it. This will basically change the taste, but it will not, absorb the wine, will not take the wine in, so that the person will, when he's eating it, will become intoxicant or has anything of that wine. But this is the thing they used to do. They used to dip it in the wine and used to leave it there to kind of change the, taste of it. And then afterwards they would leave it in the sun, right? Until the wine is taken out from it. This will actually change the taste of it, and they'll be able to cook it in the way they used to cook it. But this person is an idiot. This is why this Muslim is also saying that waw means and not as usual, okay? Usually in the Quran it does, but in regular Arabic it does not really supposed to mean that, okay? Because usually the hadiths can be described in different manners as well, but she's too stupid to understand it. Anyway, we're gonna go on to the meaning that he's saying that he's talking about the dyeing of the hair is sunnah, right? The Prophet said, he used a wording in Arabic to show that it is a command or amr, which is for a person sometimes he's speaking in a way. People can say this is the word of amr, right? This is a word of command. I command you to do this. But usually when the Prophet ﷺ says, Amar Rasulullah, for example, one person says that Amar Rasulullah ﷺ, the Prophet ﷺ has commanded this and that. Sometimes the command does not become an obligation, especially when used in the hadith. Because sometimes the Amr is addressing that it is a sunnah, right? But it is not becoming an obligation unless there is a reason for it. So it's basically saying that the beard, there's no way in the hadith of saying that the beard is fard. Now we know the Prophet ﷺ has said in the hadith in Bukhari and Muslim that trim the mustaches and let the beards flow. Do not do like the pagans or the fire worshippers, meaning the Zoroastrians. He's saying that this is the same way as the Prophet ﷺ ordering one of his companions to go and dye his hair. Okay? Now the order here is not mean fard, but the Prophet ﷺ is a type of mustahab, right? It's a type of mustahab. And whenever there's something mustahab, which is not makruh, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ orders for it to be done. But again, it's not an obligation, it's not a must. It's just basically like Prophet saying go and do this or go and do that. It's type of mustahab, something that is liked. But the Prophet ﷺ doesn't force it in the religion, right? But maybe we can see as well the Prophet ﷺ used to pray sunnahs, but not always. Not always. So this is why it proves that the Prophet ﷺ, there will be days he would pray sunnahs and days he would not pray sunnah. Also, there are times where the Prophet ﷺ would place a mat to pray on, and times he would pray on bare ground without a mat. So this proves that praying on a mat or praying on a ground is, it's not something that is sunnah, right? It's not something that is, it's something that is, it's not something that is like a faridah, right? Because if the companions see the Prophet ﷺ praying always on a mat and never leaving that mat, they would say that this is a fard, we must pray on a mat. Or if they saw the Prophet ﷺ always praying with his shoes on, they would say this is fard, we must pray with our shoes on. But no, there were times the Prophet ﷺ prayed with his shoes on, and there were times the Prophet ﷺ took his shoes off and prayed. Similarly, Qiyamul Layl. Qiyamul Layl is mustahab. There's one of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, he saw in his dream one time, this is mentioned in Hadith Sahih Bukhari, he saw in his dream one time that he saw hellfire. Okay, so when he saw hellfire, he said to the Prophet ﷺ that I've seen hellfire in my dream. What is the interpretation of this dream? The Prophet ﷺ said, may Allah have mercy on so and so, his companion. For if he has prayed Qiyamul Layl, he would have succeeded and not seen this dream, right? So this is not the way the hadith goes, but I'm just giving an explanation of the hadith. Don't think that what I'm saying is the hadith word with word, but I'm giving an explanation, so it makes it more easier for you. So this shows that it is mustahab to pray Qiyamul Layl. Okay, it is mustahab. It is not a faridah, but it is mustahab. Can a person go to hell if he does not pray Qiyamul Layl? No, unless there's one reason. Sometimes a person may pray the faridah salah, it will not be accepted. Because sometimes a person, we're all human. We don't know if we're praying correctly or not. Even if we're praying correctly, it is up to Allah's will if He accepts the salah, the faridah, or if He does not. So if this salah is not accepted and a person does Qiyamul Layl, on the day of resurrection, when Allah says that this is your salah, it's not accepted, He will take your deeds for the sunnah salah, how much you prayed, and you replace them in the fard, in the obligation salah. Okay, and by that, when it's as much as soon as you pray and as much as salahs are invalid, these sunnahs will be replaced there, and by that you'll be closer to entering Jannah. The more you have done these deeds, you'll be closer to entering Jannah, or closer to reaching the reward of paradise. Okay, by the deeds. Now, there's only one problem that this dinosaur Mufti Abu Layth he forgot. There's only one problem. These are all sunnahs. The Prophet would have done them at times and he would not be doing them at other times. Lakin, we also understand the Prophet let his hair reach his shoulders, in hadith of Sahih Bukhari Muslim, and sometimes to his earlobes. And he would sometimes shave and cut the hair during the Hajj time season. We would understand by that letting the hair loose is not a faridah, right? Because the Prophet ﷺ would have cut it sometimes, right? And he shaved it at Hajj, during the Hajj. Now comes the real lesson. Did the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ ever shave his beard, all of it, in all his lifetime? Has he ever shaved his beard? In the most two authentic hadiths of Bukhari and Muslim, there is no mention that the Prophet ﷺ once shaved his beard, clean shaven it. Lakin, there is mention that the companions of the Prophet ﷺ used to grab a fist of their beard and cut what is under it and trim it. Basically, trimming is different than shaving. Trimming can be similar than shaving in a way that it's, you kind of cut a little bit of it, so you kind of shave some of it, but it does not mean to be clean shaved. This is what I mean by that. So trimming, he used to trim his mustache and he used to let his beard flow. He used to trim it at times, but he did not trim it very, very low. Okay, very, very, very what you can say, like so much, but he used to kind of fix it. Okay, so by that we understand that he never clean shaved it, and he never shaved it more than the proportion that he had. He always shaved it, for example, in a style that it will not be seen that is all the way going to the skin. It will be seen like it's grown fully. The Prophet had bushy hair. He had he was kind of he had his hair like not too curly, not too straight, but in between. Okay, he had a bushy beard as well. And we understand by that even the companions of Prophet Muhammad, like Umar bin Khattab, used to have like a beard like whiskers, like goes out like whiskers, because it's the way how his beard used to go. Okay, type of whiskers. So in his way, he would not shave it too much, but he would kind of fix it. Right? There's some beards that go differently than others. But now we have to look at the true thing. Ibn Taymiyyah says that a beard is wajib, and is a must. A man should have a beard. Whoever cleans his beard, he is doing mukhalafa. Okay, he is doing something that goes against Allah and His Apostles' commandments. And he also mentioned that from that the dalil that we have is that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, if there's something that is called a sunnah, it is if the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ has done it at some points and did not do it at other points. For example, the Faridah Salah, the obligatory Salah, the Prophet ﷺ never left it. There is not one single thing showing that he left the Isha prayer and he never made it up. Okay? So by that, the beard, he always left it. He never shaved it. So by that we understand that the beard is a must. Okay, it is something part of a man to not look like a woman. And it's also proven scientifically that the person who grows a beard, it increases the manly hormones, okay, the manly hormones of a person, instead of clean shaving it, okay? Because when you clean shave a beard, most people, they have like an appearance that if they clean shave themselves, they'll look exactly like a woman, exactly like that. So by this, if they grow the beard, it looks more that he's a man person, and by that it increases the hormones, the manly hormones of a person, okay? So by that we have to know the fitrah, that this is the way the Prophet ﷺ would have done it, okay? There are some things that he has done, there are some things he for example, he prayed on a mat at points, and at points he did not pray on a mat. So this shows that the mat is not obligatory, or the ground, prayer on the ground is not like something obligatory. Lakin, there's some things he did and he never left. So these things that he did and never left, the ulama have taken into consideration that this is a must, okay? Unless the Prophet ﷺ ordered one of his companions to do it or not to do it, or you can do it or you cannot do it, right? And particularly we can see that all the companions of Prophet ﷺ had long beards. No one has ever shaved it, okay, and or trimmed it more than it has to be trimmed, okay? Similarly, we see the Prophet ﷺ the same exact thing. So by that we take into consideration the opinion of Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, that he said a beard is a must for a man, and whoever does not grow a beard, he is doing mukhalifa. That means he's looking like women, and he falls into the category of Allah's Messenger cursing men who look like women and women who become like men. Okay, this is what I've taken into account. Don't listen to this dinosaur Abu Layth Al Baritani, not Al Maliki. He's not Al Maliki. Because guys, some of the supporters of Imam Malik, they actually went into the house of Abu Hanifa, and they asked him, let us kiss your robe, let us take blessings from your robe. Abu Hanifa forbade them. He said, no, I'll not let you kiss my robe. So they took a dagger and they stabbed him, they killed him. Okay, so by that they killed him because he did not agree with him. While the other types of supporters of Imam Malik, those are called the better types. They are the ones who follow Imam Malik in the correct ways. They take from all the ulama's, not let alone Imam Malik, not only Imam Malik, they also read Bukhari. They say Bukhari is mostly authentic, but there is some of them who are inclining more towards the falsehood. And the teachings of these people have actually brainwashed many people of this generation to think that this group that killed the Imam Shafi'i, their teachings have influenced some of these people of the today's generation, and it makes them into falling into types of innovations and bid'ah. Just like this Imam Malik is saying Christmas is halal, Valentine's is halal, having a girlfriend is not haram, drinking alcohol in amounts that does not make a person drunk is not haram at all. Taking injections or like drugs is not haram. He says everything is okay, and he even has earrings here. And subhanallah, I have to say something. تعرفهم بسيماهم. Okay, تعرفهم بسيماهم. You will know them by their appearances. Subhanallah, you will know them by their appearances, that on their forehead is written kadhab, Dajjal. This is what the Arabic meaning of written on their forehead, meaning not taken literally, but it means that you will know them by their speeches and by their appearances, that they are liars. By him putting thing here, and subhanallah, many people are falling into this thing. And not to forget something, every anti-Islamic person I've ever seen has subscribed to Mufti Abu Layth. This is a type of business. You put a little bit of books, Imam Abu Layth, this Mufti Abu Layth, he puts some big library, a little bit of books behind him. Because this is what a type of government paid people use as tools, Zionist tools. These people, they picture themselves behind millions and billions of books, and they don't even know anything. As much as their books are, they don't know anything. As the Prophet said, that ignorance will prevail before the end of times, not because of the books disappearing, but because of the death of the great religious scholars. Until there's no religious scholar left, people will take ignorant people who will misguide them and be misguided themselves. So these people are liars. You have to be careful of them, because if you go to Apostate Prophet's channel, he subscribed to Mufti Abu Layth. If you go to Introverted Smile, another apostate, Ahmadi so-called apostate, a liar, he also subscribes to Mufti Abu Layth. So it's a type of business. It's a type of business. And this Imam Mufti Abu Layth, he was caught doing porn as well, and he went to jail for that. And you don't even know what Bukhari, may Allah have mercy on him. May Allah have mercy on him and on all our ulama that are bringing this knowledge upon us. So Allah is giving knowledge. They are doing da'wah, preaching the knowledge. These people, they come and take, they get a shahada or PhD, just like the ISIS leader, Imam, the ISIS leader, the guy Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, this false liar. He said that he has PhD. So these people, they become PhD people. Okay, not for reasons to teach people religion, but for reasons to show that I have a PhD in Islam. So that means I'm right and you're wrong, right? Since you don't have PhD. So they try to fool people by brainwashing them and bringing them and teaching them the falsehood. While they know the haqq, when someone knows the truth, he tries to play around with it. When someone knows the truth, he tries to play around with it in many ways, just to invite people to him. Okay? And to invite people to misguide him.